We begin by praising Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and sending blessings and salutations upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his entire household, his loyal companions, and those who have followed him and helped him along this way. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to bless every single one of us, to protect us, to guide us, and to grant us goodness in this world and in the hereafter. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Let us now open this gathering by reciting Surah Al-Fatiha as a gift to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as well as with the intention that tonight's event will go smoothly and that this gathering of a community who is in remembrance of Allah will be blessed by Him, inshaAllah.
Inshallah.
Al-Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله.
Now, before we begin, allow me to indulge myself in a short poem of sorts. It's not much, but as we continue onwards into spaces unknown and stars uncharted, it is inevitable that when we all decide to get left to see, our hearts will certainly waver, gravitating towards beautiful experience that we've yet encountered. So with all the beauty that we are about to live in, how do we stay firm? How do we stay true? How do we not sway and lose our orbit within? Dearest schoolmates and guests of this beloved gathering, allow me to begin with the most humble greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome and welcome back to the second session of the semester. My name is David, and I will be taking you through this evening's space adventure, inshallah.
Inshallah.
For those joining us for the first time, allow me to share a little bit about what G2G is all about. Guide to Goodness is a ground-up initiative under the NUS Muslim Society that provides classes on campus which focuses on the sciences of Islamic spirituality and Islamic sacred knowledge. G2G also envisions itself to be a guide to goodness for all and aims to uplift our community with Islamic spirituality, tasawwuf. G2G returns in its fifth year with a four-part series sessions titled The Journey. For this iteration, we intend to become more attuned to our inward spiritual state and receive guidance with self-rectification and growth through dhikr and seeking knowledge. Alhamdulillah, we are honored to be in the presence of our distinguished speaker, our space commander for this evening once again, Ustaz Muhammad Nasrullah Refa'ie. Welcome back.
I have to do this again.
Brothers and sisters, allow me to briefly introduce our speaker here. Ustaz Nasrullah Refa'ie is a graduate of Al-Azhar University, majoring in Arabic literature, as the first Singaporean to study under the renowned Sheikh Balaid Hamidi. He takes pride in safeguarding the traditional values of Arabic calligraphy, as well as to propagate it. He hence founded Ustaz and Al-Jrim Calligraphy to nurture the current generation of Islamic calligraphers. Ustaz Nasrullah is also a student of the former Grand Mufti of Egypt, Sheikh Dr. Ali Omar, and has been authorized by the Sheikh to assist in guiding people on the spiritual path according to the Shadiliyah spiritual order. Ustaz is currently an Arabic language teacher at Madrasah Al-Janib Al-Islamiyah. Now, last week, we had a taste of the cosmic wonder that Allah has created for us to see. But reality is often deceiving, so we needed a framework by which to perceive. Dhikr, Tawheed, Tasawwuf. But then we asked Ustaz, how do we keep focused in our pursuit of getting closer to Allah? Over time, space, star-struck eyes, our initial intentions often get diluted, and the journey is long. So here we are again for session 2. The orbit within, nurturing the self. In this session, we look to better understand how we should deal with our struggles as students, be it stress or time management, through the practice of tasawwuf and of dhikr. What exactly is dhikr and what exactly does it consist of? Inshallah, today we will find out. At the end, we will have a short Q&A segment around 8:45 p.m. So if you do have any questions, please visit the Padlet at the link shown above or scan the QR code. If Ustaz is unable to address your questions during the event itself, rest assured that your question will be addressed on the Padlet or in the next session, inshallah.
Inshallah.
For those of you here physically, you may also ask your questions by raising your hands. So without further ado, I would like to invite our space commander and guide once again, Ustaz, to begin his sharing. Ustaz, please.
Inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahla wa anta subhanaka taj'alul hazna idza syi'ta sahla. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir, rabbi tammim bil khair. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli wa saddid lisani wahdi qalbi bihaqqi nabiyyika Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma inna nas'aluka hubbaka wa hubba man yuhibbuka wal 'amala alladhi yuqarribuna aw yuballighuna ila hubbika, amin. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. Let's start our session by renew our intention and making dua, and also make an intention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make this session a beneficial one. We are here not just about making a program, we are here also to seek knowledge, to deepen our understanding so that we know how can we actually benefit to that extent that we can apply in our daily life, inshallah. And of course, when we are talking about the theoretical part, we are also talking about the practicality so that we can apply it, inshallah. So before we proceed to the session, let's recap what we have learned. I think we have learned about the main three principles. We were talking about the importance of knowing Allah maqsudul kul. Allah is the intended in everything. And then the second one will be al-multafit la yasil. The one who keeps looking around will not reach the destination. The destination that we are talking, the destination to revive our heart, making our heart closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we move forward, we must be able to make ourselves focus more so that we can reach the destination. So without focusing on keeps looking around, like if you want to put into a context as simple as doing something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we believe by focusing our thoughts and our heart, seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acceptance, that is the main thing, by not focusing on the praises, so on and so forth. That will be the second one. The third one will be innal ibrata laysat biman sabaq walakin man sadaq. What is important is not who started the journey first or who outran the journey first. What is important is that how truthful you are in order for us to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the three key principles that we were talking about. So today I'm going to add two more. These two more, we can call it some sort like an additional principles. It complement with one another. The two principles is very important for us to know because it also talks about, we're going to talk about the four pillars. So after we know the general view in terms of what do we mean by the principles, we're going to zoom in by looking what is the pillars that in order for us to make ourselves more consistent, in a sense, we can always keep on check by these four pillars so that we can move further and further. Okay, so let's add two more. For the first one will be ad-daimuma. Okay, ad-daimuma. Ad-daimuma is the word that has a similar synonym with istiqamah. Usually we hear the word istiqamah. Al-istiqamah basically means There's the word istiqamah comes from the word qama yaqumu. Qama yaqumu, it means to stand. Istiqamah means to us that our stand is deep-rooted, is strong, so that we can move forward, so that we can look at ourselves is capable because of the pillar that we have built. So istiqamah, basically, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, please make my journey smooth. Although I'm facing a lot of difficulties, but I believe in you, oh Allah, so that you can guide me. So that is istiqamah. By not focusing on whether I have the time or no, but focusing on believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is istiqamah. So istiqamah and daimumah, we can actually understand it by looking at these two words. It is intertwined. It has a strong relation, because daimumah comes from the word dama yadumu. Dama yadumu means to continue. So istiqamah, we can, to put into a visualization form, we can look, istiqamah is here, daimumah is here. In order for you to reach the istiqamah, you must know what is daimumah. So istiqamah is here. We want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us a consistent person. Here I'm translated the word daimumah as consistency, because I couldn't find the proper word to translate the daimumah. But if you look at the Arabic language, istiqamah is more general. Daimumah is the state where you are a person, a state of continuous, a state of being able to continue and do more without falling apart. So that is daimumah. So istiqamah is the thing that we want to reach. That is istiqamah. But how do we reach istiqamah? Usually we will talk about istiqamah means consistency, yes. Daimumah also consistency, because if let's say I translate it into continuous, it will be not suitable for the English word. Like continuous, what do we mean by continuous? So the keyword here is the consistency, yes. But for us to get a bigger idea, what is daimumah? Daimumah is basically you are doing something for you to make sure that you are istiqamah. So istiqamah is a state where you do something, okay, where you do something, although you have mood or you do not have mood, you still able to see that you still keep on continue do this thing. That is the state that we want to pursue, that we want to reach. But how do we do that? We must be able to apply the concept of daimumah. So the concept of daimumah is actually came from the Al-Quran and also Hadith. Okay? The general concept of daimumah came from Al-Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, Qul amantu billah thumma istaqim. Qul amantu billah thumma istaqim. The most important thing in our daily life is to say that I believe in Allah and then do istiqamah. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained it further by mention to Sayyidina Aisha, ahabbul a'mal indallah ad-duwamuha. Okay? Ad-duwamuha, this is the keyword. Ad-duwamuha wa in qalla. So ad-duwamuha means from the word daimumah. So what can we understand the word ahabbul a'mal? The most beloved things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love to see you is ad-daimumah. The thing that you always consistent in what you are doing. So that is daimumah. But interestingly, in this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned then after the word daimumah, adwamuha wa in qalla. Although the thing that you are doing right now is so little, is so minimal. No wonder now we have the concept of minimalist. Although it is so minimal. So the important things about the daimumah is not the quantity of it. It is more when you do and you keep on continue doing it, although this is so little. Let's put into some example of daimumah. You need to have your own dhikr. You need to have your own wird. So are you doing astaghfirullah al-azim, astaghfirullah al-azim? So you are doing that. Although you are doing it only one time, but you're doing it every day. That is the most important thing. Although you are doing it 50 times every day, but you keep on doing it. That is the concept of daimumah. It is so little that you perhaps can see it as if like the wirid or the effort that I'm doing, I cannot feel it. So that's the daimumah, the concept of daimumah is, it is so little, but it is consistent. Istiqamah means you have a lot of things to do, but you keep on doing it. But daimumah is so little. But in order for you to get that, it must be consistent by doing it every day. That is why the ulama say, Man inqata'a al-wirdu, inqata'a al-waridu. Idha inqata'a al-wirdu, inqata'a al-waridu. It means, whoever detached, whoever make himself detached from doing dhikr wirid, okay, what do we mean by doing dhikr, doing wirid? As simple as Bismillah, as simple as Astaghfirullah al-Azim. We're not going to talk focus more on this because we're going to talk after this, inshallah. We're just going to focus the concept of daimumah. Although it is astaghfirullah, 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 whoever missed, whoever did not manage to engage himself by continuously doing the wirid, the dhikr, inqata' al-waridu. Waridu means development. You cannot see development in yourself. You cannot see, I think last time if I want to do some reflections over here, I can see, last time I'm kind of person who, between two choices in front of me, I'm kind of person who actually incline more to take the B path. The B path is something is not that good. Then the A path will be something good. I'm kind of person where two things clash or two things appear in front of me. I will intend to take the second one. But because of the wird that I'm doing, the wird give me an effect that, how come after two things appear in front of me, I kind of looking forward to take this first path rather than the second one. I'm not feeling, how do you call it? I'm not feeling miss to this path. Tak rasa rindu to this path. More on this one. How come I managed to do that? Because you have your own wird. Wird will actually protect you. Although you cannot see it, although you are unable to internalize it because of the meaning, but because of the barakah of you having wird, and because of the barakah of daimumah, not only the barakah of the wird, the barakah of daimumah. Daimumah because Rasulullah SAW mentioned about the importance of making it consistent. So because of the barakah of consistency, you are doing it with a consistently, then you get also the barakah. So that is the importance of daimumah in what you do. So the key principle over here, when we talk about making ourselves embark the journey, engage our heart to reach Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, you cannot do that and you cannot reach that unless you understand the concept of daimumah. And although I feel it or I do not feel it, although I can see there's an improvements going on, or I cannot see it, but because I know the key principle in order for me to reach Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is daimumah, so we just do it. Why? Because Rasulullah SAW mentioned it. Ad-duwamuha wa in qalla. The most consistent, although it is so little. So because of the barakah over there, so I believe in Rasulullah SAW. That is daimumah. Okay. And then let's move to the next one. When you start to put yourself in the path of tasawwuf, or in the path to reach Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala by focusing on your heart, you will face a lot of challenges. One of the challenges that we're going to face is that we can see there's a lot of path. There's a lot of roads in front of us. But please rest assured and remind yourself that the path is only one. There is no roads. There is only one road. What do I mean by that? The path is, the way we look at path is not something like this. The way we look at path is supposed to be like this. It's a circle. The path is circle. The path is not like this. It is like this. So you can see at the screen, is that the screen? Can we change the slide? Yeah. There's two circles over here. The outer circle and the inner circle. And then you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. Let me just give an example. If you look at the first circle, the outer circle, that is the murid. That is the one that seek closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the inner circle is the teachers, are the teachers. Okay? The inner circle, teachers are placed over there. So just imagine that you are in the middle of the line. The first circle, not the second one, the outer one, you are in the middle. And then you can see, a lot of people also make an effort to make themselves closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in front of the student, there's a teacher. So you cannot compare yourself. When you want to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can find a lot of teachers. And you can find a lot of people who seek to make himself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But although the circles are the circles are big, they're huge, and also the teachers are a lot, every teacher will make you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you do not have to compare yourself with other people, because other road also will actually bring you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lead you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the path is actually one. The road is actually one. How do we visualize the road? The road is not something like this. It is like this. So when you are over here, you can see, there's someone also over here with his teacher. So there's also someone over here with his teacher. So at-tariq, the path is like a circle. Wa in ta'addadat, although you can see there's a lot of teachers talk about making yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you need to focus the most important thing, that you reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So not by having a lot of informations, a lot of something got to do with cool and style, but the most important thing is that keep on focusing with your teacher, and then the teacher will lead you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the most important thing. So in this key principle, it is important for us to know that, because right now, these things become more and more difficult. Because why? You have YouTube now. You have Facebook and you have Instagram. And then you see, there's dua from this teacher. And then you Google again, one more teacher talk about to do this dua. And then one more teacher talk about this dua. And then, okay, I'm tired already. And then tomorrow I meet my friend, and my friend say, this dua is good, or this zikr is good, you can do. Alamak, I don't have. Can you give me? I also want to do that. So you keep on doing everything. And you keep on doing things that, anything got to do with something style that I feel I am stupid. I'm very stupid, because my friend have a lot of things. I cannot. I have to take. No, I memorized already. What you're doing, I'm going to take from another person. Then I'm going to take from another person. Then I'm going to take from another person. That will not reach you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because why? You are doing that not because you want to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are doing that because you feel that if I don't memorize it, if I don't do what my friend do, I will feel stupid. When I feel stupid, it means myself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do not have the productive relationship. But it's not like that. When you make your path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not supposed to be like that. You have to keep on focus by what your teacher has given you to do it, and then he will add more and more and more depending on your situation. So the teacher will actually guide you what is actually better for you so that you can reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more and more. Okay? So that is the last principle that we need to know. So the last one will be difficult because why? We had a lot of things that we are exposed. It is good for you to develop your intellectual, but when we are talking about the heart itself, it's not good for your heart. Because you try to compare what you do with the rest. And you start to look, mashallah, this selawat, very style selawat. And this selawat, too small, too short for me, not that good. Then this lot, mashallah, this selawat come from this scholar, this lot. You try to compare. The question is, do you have the right tool for you to compare? How do you know that this is good, this is not good? How do you know this is good and what this is not good? How do you evaluate things when everything's are exposed to you? How do you do that? So it is very dangerous for our heart because why? We are always exposed in everything. Everything are good. We reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is good for you? What is better for you? That is the most important thing. That is the path of tasawwuf. When we talk about the destination, the journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. Okay, let's move on. Do you guys want to proceed with the qasidah or should we continue? Is there any qasidah? Okay, bismillah. Who's going to lead the qasidah? Shawkat, mashallah. Shawkat. Because Abu Shawkat is durian. So not Shawkat. Oh, you love eating durian? Inshallah.
Masih ada pemahaman.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shall we be reciting Burda chapter 2? I think the tune is quite familiar, so you can recite along with me, so I don't feel alone. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. فإن مراتب السوء ما تعاظت من جهلها بالنذير الشيب والحرام، ولا أعدت من الفعل جميل قرى ضيف علم برأسي غير محتشم. لو كنت أعلم أني ما أوقره كتمت سرا بدلي منه بالكتم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. من براد جماح من غواياتها كما يراد جماح الخيل بالنجوم. فلا تهم بالمعاصي كسر شهواتها، إن الطعام يقوي شهوة النحيم والنفس كالطفل إن تحمله شاب على حب الرضاع وإن تفطمه ينفطم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. فاصرف هوى حاذر أن توليه إن الهوى ما تولى يسمع أو يعصي. وراعيها وحيا في الأعمال سائمة فإن هي استحلت المرعى فلا تسيمي. كم حسنت لذة للمرء قاتلة من حيث لم يضري أن السم في الدسم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. وحشى الدسائس من جوع ومن شباع فربما مصة شر من التخم. فاستفرغي الدمع من عين قديم تلعت من المحارم والزم حمية الندم وخالف النفس والشيطان وعصيهما وإنهما ما حضاك النصح فاتهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. ولا تطع منهما خصما ولا حكما فأنت تعرف كيد الخصم والحكم. أستغفر الله من قول بلا عمل لقد نسبت به نسلا لذي عقوم. أمرتك الخير لكن ما أمرت به وما استقمت فما قولي لك استقيم. ولا تزودت قبل الموت نافلة ولم أصل لسوى فرض ولم عصوم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله.
Thank you, Ustaz. Thank you, Ustaz, for the beautiful information. Thank you, Ustaz.
Shall we continue? Inshallah. Okay. Now let's go to the practical part. Okay. I see some of the things that we need to cover in terms of how to deal with struggles as students, such as stress and time management. Right. We can talk a lot for this one, but let me just focus on the important things. Okay, so we can think together for this part, but I think let's make some foundations first before we proceed to the practical part. Okay, now when we talk about tasawwuf, after we know the 5 principles that need to be considered for us to move forward, so let's start the journey. Now we're going to start the journey. In order for us to start the journey, there's 4 pillars, general 4 pillars, agreed by all tariqah, agreed by all school of tasawwuf. Only that certain tariqah or certain group of tasawwuf, they have an additional approach. Okay, but let's take the 4 things general first. The first one will be, everyone agree that in order for you to start the destination, you need a teacher, you need a sheikh. So what do we mean by sheikh? Sheikh, there's two ways of looking at the word sheikh, linguistically part, and then also what can we understand the word sheikh used in tasawwuf. The first one, sheikh, is something got to do with maturity. So when you talk about sheikh, the word of sheikh is actually someone that can understand certain things. The word sheikh used in the context of Arab during the past times, where it used for someone who has reached to that age of old. So when you call that person ya sheikh, because of your age, you always get the word sheikh, as the word sheikh means also you are a wise man. So it is very important to look at the age, because the age will tell a person that he is wise enough to lead someone during that time. But now the word sheikh is not only stopped or used for someone that has got to do with the age. Sheikh means someone that have the knowledge. The knowledge is so mature that you can depend on him. So the word sheikh right now is used for someone who has the knowledge, and he is so mature that you can depend on his knowledge to lead you. So that is sheikh. Where do we get the concept of sheikh? From Al-Quran itself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Ar-Ra'd. Surah Ar-Ra'd. You can look at the slide over here, the next slide. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرٌ وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ هَادٍ. Where is sheikh? It's not mentioned over here. The keyword is had. Had means the guide. Okay? Had means the guide. So for the tasawwuf perspective, the scholar of tasawwuf always try to look, how can we look at Al-Quran and make a programs for the heart. So there's a lot of programs that expose in Al-Quran, how they put into practical. So the first one is the word had. Had means a guide for, and every people had a guide, meaning the qawm, you have a lot of groups. For every groups, there's always a guide for them to depend on and be a leader to guide the groups. It is in our nature of life, right? Everything we do, we need a leader. So same goes to leading the heart. For every country, you have a lot of groups. For every group, there's always a guide to guide you. That is the most important thing. Because if you think logically, no one can become a leader for everyone. There's no one can become the leader for everyone. I am the leader for every country, for every people. No. Even if you look at the one country, although you have a president and you have the PM, but you still need some leaders for a certain group. So the nature of having a leader, someone that guide you, is actually very logical. So when you look at the word had here and the word sheikh over here, it has the same meaning in terms of the content. In terms of the content, it has the same meaning. So what's the difference between a scholar and a sheikh? What's the difference between a scholar and a sheikh? A scholar is someone who is well versed in a certain area. Sheikh is not someone only versed in certain area. Sheikh is also a leader. So sheikh basically the leader, the guide, not just talk in front, but he has the responsibility to mingle around, to follow up, to look at the welfare of his murid or his students. So sheikh is not just basically someone that give a speech. Sheikh here in the context of tasawwuf, a leader who always take care of his murid, who always make dua for his murid, who always make sure that his murid in his dua. So that is Sheikh, the one that guide. So when we talk about tasawwuf, you need the captain. You need the captain. Okay, I'm not referring to me. I'm just talking about the general concept. You need the captain for you to actually start the journey, or else you will keep on falling. You will not get the development. You feel that you get the development, but in reality, you will see a lot of struggles that you are talking. But once you get a teacher, how come last time I have a lot of questions, now I seem don't have question to ask? How come? How come when I sit in front of my teacher, all my problems has been erased? How come? That's the point of teacher. Because when you have a lot of problems, now the problems become only one problem. What is the problem? Yourself. Not a lot of problems. Rather than you look at a lot A, B, C, D. Oh, now I know all about myself. So that is the importance of Sheikh. Right? Okay, let's move to the next pillar. The tasawwuf cannot be completed unless there's a murid. Where do we get this idea? From Surah Al-Kahf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ. This one, yuridu. Yuridu is in the verb. Yuriduna wajha. The path of tasawwuf, the path of making the destination to make yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be completed unless there's a murid. What do we mean by murid? Murid comes from the word arada yuridu. The one that desire. The one that desire. Desire what? Desire to make himself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you cannot look at tasawwuf only by Sheikh itself. You need to also understand that, okay, the Sheikh cannot give guidance unless there are the demands that need to be guided. No, there's a demand. So the demands over there, so the Sheikh will come. But if let's say no one demanded, no one desire to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there will be no path for you to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So tasawwuf is also about someone that desire to make himself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not desire to make yourself close to a particular teacher or sheikh. The desire to make yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you have the desire, then you know you need a teacher. So how do we get a teacher? How do we get a teacher? A lot of things can be discussed over this, but I'm just going to simplify it. Okay. Everyone has their own taste. Not everyone loves nasi lemak, right? Someone loves roti kirai. So today roti kirai. Someone loves rojak more. And someone always when feel crave of something, they will go to mama stall. Or they will go to Malay stall. Okay? So that also applied when you find a teacher. Certain teacher has the ability to make certain murid closer to him. But it doesn't mean that if you don't incline to a certain teacher, it doesn't mean that you cannot go to a different teacher. Every teacher will have a specific students. Students also will get a specific teacher. That is the nature. That is the nature. We cannot make ourselves, I'm going to make myself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, yes, oh Allah, please give me a teacher. You have to make dua. Please give me a teacher. That is mentioned in one of the book of tasawwuf. Okay, then I have teacher. Oh, I feel comfortable with him. I feel more relaxed with him. I feel more comfortable. That is your teacher. If you feel comfortable with the teacher, if you feel ease with the teacher, so that is your teacher. That is the first criteria. The second one, what is the criteria a teacher that you need to know? Of course, when we talk about a teacher, we are talking about the Sharia, we are talking about the fiqh. We are also talking about when you find a teacher that always makes you closer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the second criteria. It's not to make you closer to him, to make closer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the second criteria. The first one, the inclination. You feel comfortable. The second one, make you closer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The third one, okay, this is also important that we need to know. How to find a teacher? When you look at that teacher or when you learn with that teacher, okay, the teacher always make your task easy or make the understanding easy. You feel so relaxed and you feel so easy. The teacher will not say to you, you want to learn from me? I want you to clean the toilet first. No. No. The more you feel comfortable, the more you feel the easiness happen over there, you feel that is your teacher. But the question is, are you going to take the first step or you just try to find another teacher? When you try to find another teacher, then you will try to do what? Compare. Then when you try to compare, then that's it. You will not get a teacher. So a teacher is basically when you find a teacher, okay, 3 criteria are in already. Bismillah. Because why? That teacher also will bring you to closer to Allah SWT. You are not talking about, okay, I want this teacher because this teacher is more famous, more like, well-versed, more handsome. Oh, maybe, yeah, a lot of posting. Because when I associate myself to that teacher, then I will feel the honor. You miss the point already. You want to have a teacher because you want to make yourself closer to Allah. You want Allah first, teacher comes second. But you need to have that intention, not just because, oh, there's no Allah. How come I got the teacher? Oh, because the teacher, I think I remembered this teacher is quite famous during that time. So I feel like, I'm surrounded by artists. That I have a big car. And no, not that. If you do that, then you miss the point already. You make your intention first to make yourself closer to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Then you look at the teacher. Oh, this teacher is good. Okay, in our context, ARS first. Okay. Oh, okay. Then okay. Tick. Okay. Then what hinders you to make yourself closer to that teacher, or may the teacher able to lead you? Okay. So that's the second thing. Murid. Murid means it's not student. Murid means the desire to make yourself closer. Murid is desire, not just student. Murid means someone that desire to make herself closer to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Then if he desire or she desires, then he must find a teacher. Okay, might find a teacher. All right. Then the next one, the third one. What does it mean when you create the pillar? The third one will be dhikr. Okay, the third one will be dhikr. When you find yourself in the path of this journey tasawwuf, you have the dhikr. The teacher will give you the dhikr. The dhikr is the most important thing in the routine as a seeker of tasawwuf, to take that path. Okay? Where do we get the idea of dhikr? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathira wa sabbihuhu bukratan wa asila. This is from Surah Al-Ahzab. O believers, always remember Allah often. So here, when you say remember Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, in the context of tasawwuf, not just remember. How do you remember Allah? I just remember. How? Remember. How you remember Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala? Oh, I try to visual astaghfirullahalazim. So how do you remember? Because some people may say that remember Allah, it doesn't mean you have to do dhikr. No. No. Remember Allah means you do dhikr. You cannot remember Allah unless you do dhikr. Oh, Ustaz, but I don't do dhikr, but I do salah. Do I remember Allah? Yes. Yes, you are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we are talking here about consistency. Remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the prayer, but outside of the prayer, what happened? How do you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do you make yourself very comfortable with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How you make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your daily life that you can remember from your action, from your sleep, from how you talk to people. So that is where you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you cannot do that unless you have to do dhikr. Dhikr will actually make yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will shape how you think. It will shape how you feel. It will shape how you behave. That is why the ulama say, Imadul jasadi al-qalbu. The pillar of the body, the physical, is the heart. Heart is the pillar. Imadul qalbi al-dhikru. The pillar for the heart is dhikr. So everything, you need a pillar. So the pillar of heart is what? Remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By doing dhikr consistently. Man kathura fi dhikrihi kathura fi hubbihi. One of the ulama say, Man kathura fi dhikrihi kathura fi hubbihi. Whoever think or remember a certain thing, then he will eventually gradually fall in love with that particular thing. So when you always recite the name of Allah, 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 then you will fall in love with Allah. But if let's say you talk about Bandung, just an example, Bandung. So you eventually you say, hey, how come this my friend always talk, when I sit with him, always talk about Bandung. Yeah, this guy must be fall in love with Bandung. Because always talk about Bandung. But you need to make sure yourself close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by mentioning the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. Now the program over here, how you do dhikr? Do dhikr by following this criteria. Bukratan wa asila. In the morning and the evening. That is why you have to do dhikr in the morning, and then you have to do dhikr in the evening. After Asar, you have after Subuh dhikr, and you have after Asar dhikr. Is it so difficult? Actually, it's not that difficult. But how do we get the idea tasawwuf is so difficult? I also don't know. How do you get the tasawwuf is so difficult? I also not sure. Because when I ask around, people will talk about tasawwuf. So scared about tasawwuf. Why you scared about tasawwuf? Because I saw at YouTube. Oh, so you get your knowledge from YouTube. Is there any teacher talk about that particular? I don't know. It's just a commentary over there. This is a tasawwuf. How do you evaluate that? Oh yeah, I can't remember. I just feel that is tasawwuf. No, you cannot understand that. You need to have a proper way of understanding by tasawwuf. Tasawwuf is actually make yourself easier, not to make yourself difficult. Because that's the criteria of tasawwuf. Tasawwuf not supposed to make yourself very difficult until you cannot move on, until you cannot feel the alignment between your study here in NUS and between making relationship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you take the path of tasawwuf, you learn the tasawwuf, now you can see, the meaning why I learn here is very much aligned with making relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is there any evidence that? Of course, a lot of evidences that we can talk about. A lot, very, very a lot. One of the evidence can share? Yes, of course, you can share. When you look at the history, every scholar, they have their wirid, they have their dhikr. How come, the question here, how come they are able to produce a lot of books in a short of time? What happened over here? Imam Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala, a lot of people over here. When we talk about tasawwuf, how come? Because of the barakah of the time management. When we talk about time management, usually Okay, we will talk about, okay, I'm making a timetable. I'm not going to talk about that because you all know already about that. I have my handphone already. Okay, I can put alarm over here. I can just say, okay, 1 o'clock I have to do this, 2 o'clock to do this. But some people, although they have a lot of digitals over here and devices, they cannot do that. They don't have the ability to put alarm clock, to set the timetable. Because why? Because you feel lost. Because you don't find it very meaningful to put to put into a time management. Why? I cannot. I have a lot of devices. I have iPad, I have iPhone. Now I have a lot of book made from very fine, what is it called? From a particular leather. Oh, mashallah, very beautiful. But it's just become part of the decoration of my house. I cannot just write. I have Al-Quran, says, yes, you have. How much you have Al-Quran? I have around 5 Al-Quran. But Al-Quran become a decorative item already. Not you open and you read. How come we are in that situation? What happened over there? Although we have Al-Quran over here, but we have not do the khatam yet, and we have not pondered the meaning of Al-Quran yet. What happened over here? It's not because you don't know how to make timetable. I'm very sure that you went through a lot of workshops talk about that, right? You have a lot from your teacher, from your secondary teacher, and then you have also here. You can also go to YouTube and how do I make timetable? You have a lot of that. But how come my time management is still not that productive? What happened? Oh, because when I do my work, right? Let's say I put 1 hour. 1 hour to finish my assignment. Example. Then I start. Okay, 4 o'clock. Then I look for my phone. 4:05, IG. 4:15, Facebook. 4:30, finish already. 1 hour. So it's not about you making a routine. It's about you discipline yourself. How do you discipline yourself? You discipline yourself by always ensure that you are the ambassador of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You are a Muslim, that you need to become productive. I have a lot of things that I have to do. I have to remember my mother, my father. But because of a lot of things. And then when the path of tasawwuf come, it just talk about Allah. Then everything fall into category. How come I can become a good person? Oh, because I have my wirid, I have a dhikr. It becomes in my blood already. That I cannot even differentiate when I'm doing it for Allah and when I'm not doing it for Allah. People just see me very productive person. What happened over there? Because you yourself has made the effort to remember Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, then anything that will actually become waste for your time. Look at Facebook, look at IG a lot, look at messages, look at video, look at anything else, you will not incline to do that. Because why? You will feel more comfortable if you do good. And everything will totally shut down. You will not able to do that because you don't feel comfortable doing that. How come you become that person? Because the dhikr has shaped you already in certain way, that you have behaved a certain way already. So that is why the time management comes in. Not you are unable to do the timetable because you are really do within 1 hour in a productive manner, that you can, oh, mashallah, I can do a lot of things. Only 1 hour I can do more. Mashallah, I don't feel. Now it's 8:45 already. I'm here at 8 o'clock now. How come? Now it's 8:45, right? 8:45 already. I don't feel it. How come I don't feel it? Because you enjoy doing it. How do we enjoy doing it? Because you train yourself to do that. So when you do dhikr, you enjoy to make yourself closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You don't feel burdened. That's why when I mentioned the path of tasawwuf, it's not actually to make yourself burden more and you find difficult more. It actually will ease your path. You will see that. You will see that once you enter the path of tasawwuf. Right. The next one. When we also talk about tasawwuf, we cannot detach this and become this thing as our main pillar. or else there will be a lot of fitnah going on. Imam Malik said, Man tasawwafa wa lam tafaqqaha faqad tazandaqa wa man tafaqqaha wa la tasawwafa faqad tafassaqa. Whoever learns tasawwuf and neglects fiqh, he has become a free thinker. I'm very focused in my heart. Yes, that's good. I have a lot of dhikr, but I don't know how to do zakah. I don't know how to do salah. No, salah is not important for me to do like this. It's just basically niyah. Allah Akbar. Zikr is much more important. I don't have to do salah. Is this happened during the time of Imam Malik? Yes, happened during the time of Imam Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala. Because of what? You only focus on certain thing and then you will eventually forget the most important thing. Imam Hassan said, Al-ilmu ilman. There's two knowledge. Al-ilmu ilman. Ilmun fil qalbi wa ilmun fil lisani. Knowledge for the heart, knowledge for the tongue. Knowledge for the heart, knowledge for the tongue. So the scholars of Tasawwuf or the Sufi, they categorize knowledge into two forms. The first one will be Sharia. The second one will be Haqiqah. They segment the knowledge into two forms, into two segments. The first one will be Sharia. The second one will be Haqiqah. So what is Sharia? Sharia, basically, you need to know the rules that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded you to take care of. What's the rules? The rules for you to take care of your body, your physical, your appearance. You need to do salah like that, so on and so forth. The rules that talk about taking care of the body. So that is why one of the Sharia talks about it is important for you to make this world a safe place. Because why? When you become extreme and you don't take care of this, then you will eventually endanger someone else's life. You not take care of the world, you do not take care of this, you don't even take care of others. No, Sharia says you must make sure that this world is safe for everyone. For who? For Muslim, animals, so on and so forth. You must make this world flourish enough so that everyone can feel safe in this world. That comes from Sharia. But if, let's say, you neglect the thing, you just say, the important things is me, myself, my heart. I don't have to talk to people. I don't have to make myself social with everyone. I do not have to make myself inclusive for everyone. No, not really important. I don't want to talk to Anas. Waste of time. Might as well just sit at home, read my Quran, do my dhikr. Waste of time. I don't want to hear Shaukat do the qasidah. Waste of time. I just basically at home, then relax and then do my zikr 24 hours. No, that is not tasawwuf, because tasawwuf teaches you to take care of Sharia. So you cannot differentiate that. So Sharia and Haqiqah is interconnected. You cannot detach one from another. Okay, that is Sharia. What is Haqiqah? Haqiqah, you can translate it as the truth. But we are not talking Sharia is not the truth. Haqiqah means knowledge for the heart. Okay? Knowledge for the heart. It means the essence. Okay, it means the essence. The important thing for you to take care of the building must be look nice. Okay, you cannot have a building. Oh, never mind. The most important thing is what is inside the building. So I'm not going to tire myself to paint, to have a white color, to have a different color. No, it's not that important. I don't want to take care of that. The most important thing, what is inside. What is inside. But if you look deeper, yes, the aircon is also important. You need to clean. But if let's say you don't have the proper maintenance, what's inside the aircon, then it's not function also. So it is interconnected. You cannot differentiate it. You cannot say, okay, when I go to tasawwuf, it means Sharia is not important already. This is all the people of Sharia. I'm a people of Haqiqah. Astaghfirullah. No, you're not going to talk about that. When you talk about tasawwuf, it is interconnected. You cannot say Sharia, tasawwuf. Oh, I'm in the maqam, in the level of Haqiqah. I'm not in the level of Sharia. This is very surface kind of approach. Astaghfirullah, you're talking Allah is so surface? Are you talking Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is so surface? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned about the Sharia. Are you going to say that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not that deep? Astaghfirullah. No, so when you talk about Sharia, you also talk about Haqiqah. When you talk about Haqiqah, you also talk about Sharia. It is interconnected. You cannot detach it. Whoever detach it, whoever focus on tasawwuf, the lens of tasawwuf, and detach the fiqh, what Imam Malik said, you are a free thinker. And if let's say you focus too much on fiqh and then you don't learn tasawwuf, what happen? You will commit a sin. Because you're not going to preserve your heart, take care of your heart. So you just basically, my heart say that I have to look something bad, but no one knows what. After this, I go out from my house, no one knows. No one knows. No one knows my heart. I'm just basically have to put on makeup, or I just wear proper attire. Makeup, I mean, for boys, for men and women. Now also men do makeup, right? Bedak lah, at least bedak. or no one will see like, oh, I'm a person who have a bad heart. No one will see. I just cover with my clothes. So you're not also talking about that. So you must take care, because once you have a proper clothes, then you do not take care of your heart, then what will happen later on? So that is the Sharia and also Haqiqah. It is interrelated, and you cannot detach one with another. Now, Wallahu ta'ala a'lam bis-sawab. Now is the Q&A session?
Yep.
Okay, Bismillah.
Thank you, Ustaz, for the wonderful sharing. MashaAllah. Honestly, I was also thinking about things that you said before the session, so I'm grateful to hear today to listen. So we shall now move on to the Q&A segment. So for those of you who have any questions, please use the Padlet. And for those of you who are here with us physically, if you do have any questions, do raise your hand, and we will allow you to ask the question. Like priority itu. Okay, if not, okay. So Ustaz, one of the few questions that we have here, I know you mentioned earlier that wirid is something that your teacher gives you, right? But is there any way we can start on a wirid? Or any particular advice on which wirid should start on first?
Okay, this remind me of the first question. I forgot to answer the first question about where can we possibly find the importance of tariqah. What was that?
The session one.
The session one, yeah. What was the question again?
We need to join a tariqah.
Do we need to join a tariqah? Let's not focus on the word tariqah. Focus on the word teacher first. You need to have a teacher. And every teacher got his own tariqah. So in a way, we are not focusing on the tariqah, we are focusing on the teacher. So when you focus on the teacher, it means you're going to take some of the tariqah. So if let's say I don't want to have a tariqah, so let's not focus on the word tariqah, because when we say, do I have to join tariqah, it makes us like uncomfortable, or maybe people will after this not going to learn tasawwuf again, because it's not about tariqah, it's about teacher. It's not about tariqah, it's about teacher. Once you find a teacher, for every teacher in tasawwuf, he has his own tariqah. I have my own tariqah. Okay, so every teacher has his own tariqah. So when you have a teacher, it means you are very comfortable in his way of teaching. Because when you look at the teacher, you look at the tariqah. So it is important to find the teacher, not find the tariqah. Once you get the teacher, then you will know that you eventually part of the tariqah. I hope that answers the question. Okay, that's the first one. Then the second one,
Just when you read.
okay, we read. For every tariqah, okay, they have their own specific wirid. For every tariqah, they have their own specific wirid. But the general wirid, okay, the general wirid that everyone must do is the three things. One is the astaghfirullah, istighfar. Second is the salawat. Third is the la ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. And for every way, for every teaching of tasawwuf, they always put into program, practical, so that we can know how to do the dhikr. So we cannot run from making it into numbers. Okay, you cannot run making numbers. How do we get the number? 100 number came from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always do 100 istighfar. So the scholars of tasawwuf, the Sufis, they look at 100 and make it into a standardization. Okay, so maybe let's put istighfar 100 and then salawat 100 and then also la ilaha illallah 100. Okay, so istighfar 100, how do you do it? After salat subuh, you do astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Make it easy. Says, do I have to do, because some ask me, says, do I have to do astaghfirullah? Hal azim? Azim? Do I do that? Azim? Do I need to? Azim, because I heard from the radio, astaghfirullah al-azim, alladhi la ilaha illa. Very soothing, sir. Can I do that? You can do that, but you are talking about 100. Bila nak habis? Make it easy. How do you do? Astaghfirullah. Dah, khalas. That's it. Just astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. How do I do 100? Yeah, you can do it at your hand. For every finger over here, 7, 7, 7, 7. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 7, 7, 7, 5. You make it 3 sets. And then you plus 1, become 100 already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 7, 7, 7. And then this is 5. So if you times 3, then you get 99. Then plus 1, 100 already. So astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. Do I have to do astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah? No, make it easy. You don't have to, Ustaz, do I have to take care of my breathing? Astaghfirullah. No, everyone. Make it easy. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. That's it. 100 times. Okay, the most important thing is the consistency. You're not going to astaghfirullah. No, must already very difficult. Then in the public, how do you do? Astaghfirullah. What you do is very irritating. Don't do that. Please. So you just astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Okay? So like that, 100 times. And then you say, Allahumma salli. Which salawat do I do, Ustaz? Do I do the salawat? Allahumma salli salatan kamila wa sallim salaman tama ala nabiyyin tanhalu liqatan farij bil liqa wa tudwa bil hawaib sanan bil ghaib sunnah wa yataqawa ghamam bi jawdil karim wa ala alihi. Do I have to do that? Oh, guys, Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa tabi qulubi wa dawa'iha wa fitna wa shifa'a wa nura absari wa yaqutuk al-awra'i wa hawla wa la salli sallim. Do I have to do that? No. Make the one that you're comfortable to do. How do I do? Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad. That's it. Do I have to do which one first? Wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim taslima or wa sallim or taslima? Which one you comfortable? Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad. Sallim. Do I have to do sallim? If you want to do. If you still cannot remember, Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad. Is that salawat? Of course. It is from Sahih Bukhari also. So when you say, Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad, it is part of salawat. But Ustaz, I heard one of the salawat, the quality salawat that I learned from this, like, very powerful. Yes, very powerful. Do you know the meaning? Very simple. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad is better than for you. So you say Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allah salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Do I? Can I do? Mawlaya salli wa. So long like one. How can you do Mawlaya salli wa sallim da'iman abadan ala habibika 100 times, mashallah. How you do that? Mawlaya salli wa sallim. MashaAllah. Just do Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. As simple as Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. It is better because it is more consistent. The last one will be La ilaha illallah. This one cannot change. Can I do La? No. La means no. La, no. What do you mean by no? La ilaha, no God, astaghfirullah. Then can I do illa? Illa mean except. What do you mean except? No. You have to complete. La ilaha illallah. There is no God except Allah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. You have to do that. No shortcut for that. La ilallah means la ilaha illallah. Okay, so 100 in the morning, 100. So you have the time. Okay. What I was taught is that to ensure that when you do that dhikr, this is dhikr called the dhikr of asas, the basic dhikr. So you do that dhikr starting from subuh, and you have to complete it before asar. So you do astaghfirullah. Then Allahumma salli. After you complete, you have the time from subuh until asar. The next cycle will be from asar until the next subuh. I hope that's not so difficult. No, I think not so difficult. When you go on the way to your class, astaghfirullah. Rather than you put then you hear music, might as well you make some music for yourself, which is zikr. So astaghfirullah. As simple as that. Okay, so you have that basic zikr. I'm giving you the ijazah. Okay, I'm giving you the permission for you to do that zikr, where I obtained the zikr from my Sheikh Ali Jumah, Dr. Sheikh Ali Jumah. So this is a zikr where he also received from his teacher, Sheikh Abdullah Siddiq Al-Humari, and then from his teacher, his father, until Sayyidina Ali Karamallahu Wajhah. So this is the way of the tasawwuf. Means in the tasawwuf, there is a topic called Talqeenul Dhikr. Talqeenul Dhikr means a teacher teach about the dhikr, and then he gives the permission. Do I need the permission? Technically, no, but you are talking about tasawwuf, you need the permission. Why? Because it is like that in tasawwuf. What do you mean by it's like that? Because you need that relationship. You need that thing. When you make the intention, I take this dhikr from this teacher, it means you have a responsibility, you feel more engaged. I feel dhikr. Rather than you find items outside the room, then you find, is this mine? Then I just take. I'm also not sure, I feel uncomfortable. But if you know, people will give you, no, take, this is mine, I give you. You will feel more comfortable doing that. So if anyone here wants to do the dhikr, I give the permission, I give the ijazah, which I received from my teacher. Astaghfirullah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, la ilaha illallah. Whoever over here, he has his own zikr, no obligation. You can continue. You have your dhikr, you can continue. But if let's say you want to do the dhikr, you have to say, I accept the dhikr. Okay? Because whoever wants to do the dhikr, follow after me. Astaghfirullah. 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 100 times. Okay? And Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. 100 times. Then the last one, La ilaha illallah.
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 After you reach the 100, then you plus Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's do that together. La ilaha illallah.
لا إله إلا الله
Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه
That is where
وسلم.
you reach 100. Okay, so you have to do after subuh until asar, then after asar until the next subuh. I give you permission to do that. Ujizuk kum. Then you have to say in Arabic, we say qabiltu, I accept the dhikr. Okay. So that's the dhikr. Okay. Wallahu a'lam. So,
Thank you, Ustaz, for the gift. Inshallah, we will practice.
maybe there's a question. Ustaz, if I take dhikr from you, am I the tariqah that you are also tariqah? Am I siddiqiyah shaduliyah? No, not yet. This is just the general dhikr. But if you, Ustaz, can I join? Bismillah, if you want to join. I don't intend to say no. If you want to join, Bismillah. But this is the dhikr of general. So I'm giving you the dhikr of general. You are not associate yourself with a tariqah or with a teacher first. This is just a basic dhikr. So I give you the basic dhikr, the general dhikr, so that everyone can do. So I do dhikr this first without following you. Bismillah. But if I do the dhikr, then I want to become one of the tariqah of Siddiqiyah Shadhuliyah. Bismillah, everyone. We are talking about making ourselves closer to Allah SWT. We are not talking about joining any gang. So if I join this tariqah, does it mean like I'm the one that have to wear the, I'm too extreme. If I'm kind of person who I have to wear the symbol of the shape of the chapal. Do I have naan? Do I have to wear that naan? No. You don't have to do that. Do I have to wear like over here in the songkok, or I have to do it? No, everyone. That is just a fashion, maybe for some tariqah, but because I'm so afraid about that shape then don't wear that. We're not talking about that shape. Tasawwuf is not about that shape. Tasawwuf is about you take yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your heart is much more important. Do I have to wear like you wear? Says no. Keep on wearing it. If you are closing your aura already, just wear. You don't have. That's why today I'm very little bit different. So you don't have the perception of the one that always lead tasawwuf must have that kind of figure. Must wear jubah, must wear songkok. No. You will find me outside. I work with my wife, do jogging together. No problem. We're not talking about someone that okay, you have to wear a certain type. No, everyone. Tasawwuf is all about making yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam bishawab.
Actually, Ustaz, there's a follow-up question to that. So when we practice our way, right? How do we maintain our focus? How do we keep our hearts in it? Because sometimes it feels like, when we do the 100 and stuff like that, it's just like routine, almost. We know it's good, so we just do and stuff. But then it feels like we are disconnected as we're doing it.
Focus on the consistency. Don't focus on, I must feel something. You will not get that. You will not get that. If you are looking for feeling, okay, then you go to East Coast. No, I'm so sorry. We are not talking about feeling, everyone. When we make ourselves closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't look at that, because when you do that, then you are fall into the category of the first principle that you forget. Al-multafit la yasil. The one who keeps looking around. I do dhikr so that I can get calmness, so that I can get focus. You do dhikr because of Allah. You want to make yourself closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, I feel it, internalize it, or I don't feel it, that is not my problem. My problem is to submit myself and my heart to Allah. Do Allah will give you the calmness? Inshallah, believe it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Al-Quran, Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. I'm not talking about any specific figure, because I get this question a lot. People will ask me, Ustaz, how do I get the calmness by doing dhikr? Then I ask him, have you done the dhikr? No, Ustaz. Then how come this question occur in your mind? And I just feel insecure. How if let's say I do dhikr and I don't get the calmness, what happened? Do the dhikr first. Be consistent first. Then you will get the calmness. I'm very sure about that. I'm very, very sure. I'm not just talking about what inside the book, the experience also. You will get that. You will not talk about a lot of things. You just do your dhikr. But Ustaz, I have done, how long? Almost 2 years. MashaAllah. How can I see there's improvement? There's a development. You need a teacher to give you some programs. I do a lot of dhikr. Now you need a teacher. The second step will be, I need a teacher to guide me, to tell me, this is my problem. I cannot understand. What's the meaning of that? Then that's where the teacher comes in to guide you, to tell you, okay, maybe you have to do this, maybe you have to do that. Yeah, Wallahu a'lam bissawab.
Yeah, I think thank you for the reminder, Ustaz. I think sometimes we also have to really refresh our intentions and really study them because we have to know what we are prioritizing, like what is important to us. Is it the feeling or is it something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? On that note, Ustaz, like you mentioned teacher and tariqah just now, I think that's an apt description because sometimes, I mean, when we consider like who we want to teach us, we consider not just the intellectual aspect, the elements and stuff like that, but also their connection to us and how they can help us as a person as well. Yeah, so on that note, in our search for finding a sheikh or finding a teacher to lead us, like how do we, like where do we begin? Like for example, if some of us we see a lot of asatidas online and there's like a lot of choice. And some of us we don't see that either. We don't see anybody. We don't know where to start. You mentioned earlier on that we should start with the dua, but after doing the dua, we have to put in action to find the teacher, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, Ustaz, how do we begin to find a teacher then?
First, if you find a teacher, you can find a teacher. Okay, this teacher, then you ask him, Ustaz, do you have tariqah? You can ask, you have tariqah? Yes, I have tariqah. Do you authorize to guide a tariqah? If no, where can I find it? If you find a teacher, yes, I am authorized, the representative of this tariqah. That is your rizki already. So take it. Take it. Because you cannot find. So you have to say, okay, is that, do you have tariqah? Yes. Do this teacher authorize? Yes, he is authorized. So what hinders you? Okay. So if let's say you don't know where to find, I'm also not sure in Singapore, but I have few. I know some of a teacher that can guide, represent certain tariqah. Okay, you can ask me. No problem. You can ask me, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. So if anybody is looking for a teacher and I'm not unsure where to find, you can approach us after the session, inshallah.
Give my business card. No.
Okay, so I think there are many more questions still on the palette, but unfortunately we have run out of time. So don't worry, we will forward the questions to Ustaz, inshallah.
Inshallah.
He will answer it eventually.
Inshallah.
Alright, so I think at this point is a good time to reflect and conclude what have we actually learned throughout the session. I think at the start, Ustaz added on 2 additional principles that we have to consider. One being, I forgot how to pronounce it.
Daimuma, yes.
Yes, so daimuma, how the little things that we do from the way are important and they shape how we are. And I think the key part of it, sometimes I'm guilty of it in particular as well. Like we kind of see worship as this thing which we have to do, and then like it has a lot of effort. So I really like the way you put it. That sometimes start from the things that don't burden you, but make it consistent and make an effort to incorporate it as part of your life. And the second of how like the whole path being a circle. Do you remember the circle that I also mentioned just now? If we continuously look around, look left and right to see what other people have, because it is a circle, we don't end up getting any closer to the center. Yeah, so remember the consistency and remember why we are searching or why we are trying in the first place, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
So thank you, Ustaz, for all the knowledge you have shared with us this evening. It really has been a great honor. I am very happy to be here today. And to seek knowledge from you, inshallah. So jazakallah khairan. Now, if you would like, Ustaz, please recite the closing dua for us, if you will.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbil alamin hamdan yuwafi ni'amahu wa yukafi'u mazidah ya rabbana lakal hamdu kama اللهم صل صلاة كاملة وسلم سلاما تاما على نبي تنحل به الأنقر وتنفرج به الكرب وتقضى به الحوائج وتنال به الرغائب وحسن الخواتيم ويستسقى الغمام بوجه الكريم وعلى آله. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Ustaz. So before we end, allow me to make a few short announcements. So we'll be taking a short break during the midterm period, and inshallah, we will return in week 9 with our next session titled The Milky Way, Mapping to Our Eternal Abode.
Question? No
So this
question.
will take place on Monday, 11 October, and the venue is yet to be confirmed.
Just want to confirm, is there any question?
Do follow us on Instagram and Telegram so that we can update you when we have the details. The session itself aims to explain the importance of seeking knowledge and having good adab so as to pave the journey in this world to maximize our religious gain in the hereafter. Similar to today, dinner will be served at 6:15 and the session will begin with Maghrib prayers at 7:30 p.m. The session will also be streamed live on Zoom and Instagram Live and will be uploaded to YouTube for your viewing pleasure. For those who are keen to attend the physical session, don't forget to fill out the NES Sync form as slots are limited. Also, if your thirst for Islamic knowledge has not been quenched, and inshallah it will still reach firmly, I don't know what I'm saying. Please also keep a lookout for Quran, the Immense Ocean second season, Stemming Barakah with Al-Fatiha, which will be happening this Wednesday with Ustaza Nuraiza Amin. This session will focus on the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha, allowing us to better internalize the meaning behind every special verse and discover the many blessings of the surah. Let us plant seeds of barakah with the Quran, inshallah. To all sisters, Nisa will be having their first event of their Path to the Garden series coming up on 17th September next Friday. Through the session, you may seek to understand and strengthen your iman and your knowledge of the religion and one's life purpose in this journey. Through the series, Nisa will be engaging Ustazah Marzia Yusuf, Ustazah Farhana Munshi, and Ustazah Ruraida D, inshallah. Be sure to follow NUS Nisa on Instagram for more details. Now, a shout out to our sponsors. We would like to thank Deen and Dunya for offering discount codes to all of us. You may use the code G2G5OFF at checkout. We shall pause if any of you would like to take a quick picture of the slide. We would also like to give a shout out to Katira Elshid for sponsoring the amazing Ari Katira for today's session. Alhamdulillah, dear seekers, that concludes our event for this evening. We thank you all for joining us and being a part of this blessed gathering, where we continue to always be reminded of Him, be protected by Him, and loved by Him, inshallah. Before we disperse, I would like to apologize on behalf of the GPD committee for any of our shortcomings on our part. Verily, all goodness comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all shortcomings are from us. As always, your feedback matters, so we would greatly appreciate it if you could spare some time to share your feedback on the session through the QR code shown above. To allow us to improve and serve you better, do follow us on our Instagram page and Telegram channel to receive regular updates for everything and anything related to GPT. Let us now end with Tasbih Kafarah and Surah. Thank you, good night, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.